Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
So you probably heard of a prenup, right? But what happens if you get a pet with your significant other and then you go through a breakup or a divorce? To avoid the situation from getting, quote, hairy, some couples are creating agreements called pet nups. Joining us now to explain is divorce attorney Rebecca Palmer. Hi, Rebecca. It's good to see you. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Good morning.
So what is a pet prenup?
So it's just like a prenup for people, but it's for animals. And you don't see a lot of them, but they're there, and they are a possibility of how to handle things.
You know, I read this statistic or this number that something like over 300,000 people who are involved in divorce cases, those cases involve a pet, but not very many of them have these pet prenups. Why is this so important to have?
It's something to really think about, to get involved in and consider, to have an agreement so you know what's going to happen. I've seen some tough cases with animals involved. Handling divorce myself, I'm a divorce lawyer. I actually had a case once where a judge basically said, stand 50 feet apart from each other, put the dog in the middle, and see where it runs. I don't even care if you wrap yourself in bacon, but whoever the dog runs.
Wow, that's actually, you know, it's sad, but it's probably the reality, because the thing is, I know for me, I consider my dog a member of our family. He's like one of our children, and I know that's what a lot of people think. So are pets considered, in a legal sense, would it be considered people or property?
Well, in Florida, it's personal property, and those laws need to change. Some states like Alaska, California, Illinois, they look at the pet at its best interests in who it goes to. And that's like how children are treated. Yeah. But in Florida, it's property.
It's property. You know, you mentioned the case where you put the dog in the middle and see who you'd run to. We knew a couple who had a similar situation. They were not married, but they had a pet together. And when they went through the breakup, they actually went to court to try to decide, well, who gets the dog. They ended up having visitation, right, with this dog, just as if it were a child. Is this helpful, having this pet prenup? And I would assume that it would be, whether you're married or not.
Yes, married or not, it would be an agreement. You have a pet, and a lot of people don't get married these days too. So that is a possibility. Where I live, there's a divorced couple on each side of my house, and I would watch the dog go back and forth for its visitation to each family. And it was very interesting. It would go with the children. Whoever the children were with, the dog would go with too.
You know, I think it's interesting because I think there might be some people out there who would say, well, if we break up or we get divorced, we'll just figure that part of it out later. But how important is it to make sure that you do have this petnup in place?
It's something to think about, because it's just another fight to potentially avoid. Yeah. Have the difficult conversations up front instead of later on.
Great advice, Rebecca Palmer. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you too.